Hello everyone, welcome back to our channels. My name is Okai, and for today we're gonna review the book that I have finished yesterday. Actually, this one is just a really thin book that I could finish it in 2 days. Um, if you are like the person who's a fast reader, you're gonna spend only around 3 or 4 hours to finish this one. But actually, I don't have much time, and at the same time, I just read it before I'm going to bed. So yeah, I have to spend 2 days in order to finish this one. So this book I can say is pretty old books, which is talk about the events that happens in 1888 in New York City. I love the title of the stories, which is Panic in the Snow. So about this book, the author, like she describes what happens and how the people might face during the snowstorms. Like she writes up about one families. In the families, it's just a small family which is have 5 members in that ones. They have 2 daughters and one son, the oldest son, and the daughter named Molly. She is the second child. She accidentally got sick, like she have a fever and she coughed very hard, and her mom really tried her best in order to take care of her. I love the stories that the author described it as a third person. Like she described as how the family look like and how it happens. So like our main character, his name is Gerald. I don't know whether I pronounce his names correctly, but yes, I think it's quite hard for me to pronounce the names. So he's the oldest son, like he see what's going on in the family. He also feel concerns that his sister, she's really sick. At the same time, as the child, he also concerned about his mother that she's really tired in order to take care of her sister. So the events of the family, which is happens in the New York City, they live in the flat, which is the place of the house look like an apartment. In that one, they have 2 bedrooms, one kitchen, and living room. In the families, the father, they like he's not living with them because he have to go out of the town. His father, like he has planned that he want to move out, so he have to go out. He went to the buffaloes in order to check for the places, about the farms, about the animals, whether they can move out or not. So while during the papa he moving out, yeah, there's a little bit issues in the family because of the sister got sick. So actually, like his mom tried her best in order to take care of her, but things like it's not, like her health is not getting any better. So she decided to invite the doctor, sorry, to come to check her conditions. And when he's come, he just said that, oh, she has a high fever and a little bit cough, maybe the changing of the weather. So that's why it's quite hard for her to adapt herself. So he just gave the bottle of the medicine, which is in syrup. So he gave that one to the mother and just remind her that make sure her daughter get enough sleep and take the syrup regularly, so her cough will be get a little bit better. So Geralt, after saw the doctor just coming and tell about his sister condition, he felt so relieved. But at the same time, he feels so concerned about his mother because she have a lot of work to do the chores, also cooking them the food and took care of his sister. So move to that one, which is I love about this story. When they talk about the storyline, in some kind of things, like they also mentions what is the fact that really happened during that times. Uh, it's not only about the storyline, but the author they try to explain what kind of food that people that time they normally eat. So our main character he ate potatoes as a breakfast because yes during that times people they eat it as our Asian that we use right in order to place it as our basic food. Move to the other ones, which is talk about like his mother get letters from his papa telling that he doing great in Buffalo, and of course he has to take some times in order to looking for the place. When he's done, he gonna come to bring his family to the farm. Um, Move to another one. Because Garel he saw that his mother a little bit busy, so he take the responsibility in order to take care of his youngest sister. Like he is a good brother. He have to spend times to draw with her to make like to draw something that funny, which is make his sister giggles, and he tried to accompany her because in the apartment it's kind of small place and they could not dance or play around. So yeah, that's why Geralt tried to make his sister feel happy. And normally, like his younger sister gonna play with Molly, but actually Molly because she was sick, so yes, no one gonna play with Nora. Nora is the name of the younger sister. They even mentions about they having a chocolate, and Geralt share some to Nora, but at the same time he also keep a few for Noli, and he mentioned that he keep that ones in the cup, so when Molly getting better she can have that. The things in events is that they talk about just activities in the small family. Her like his mama like she making some food and try to feed her children. I know this some kind of story. It seems so simple, but at the same time it remind our childhood. I don't know the one who listen to the audio whether you right now you live with your family or neither you live alone, you're moving out from the province. So actually the stories really remind me that when we are young, when we were young, when we are getting sick, our mother or father or our sibling, like older sibling, they are the one who taking care of us. They do everything to make us feel better. Starting from like they try to have us in many ways, and also they cook a good food, a hot food like soup and some stuff for us to enjoy. But right now, I think that we are old enough. Even though we are sick of something, we have to be in charge of ourselves and we have to taking care of ourselves. So flashback to the story, and yeah, it's really remind me of my childhood. Yes. And in this family also mentions about the families of O'Brien. O'Brien family, they are the friends of Papa and Mama friends. So even though in the America, but I think they have the same or the similar culture to our Cambodia. Like, if we know each other, of course we have to take care and like sharing food and some kind of stuff. So Mr. O'Brien, after they got the information that Molly she was sick, um, they cooked the chicken soup to give to Mama. So Mama she doesn't need to spend a lot of time to making food, and they just like to they just warm the soup up and they can eat it. So it really helped Garel's mother. Moves to the next scenes. With this chapter 4, I really love about this scene, which is girls like he because in that times in the New York City, the weather starting like getting colder and colder. So one day, Garels he went to sleep because actually in his house also have the oven in order to put some wood and coal in it to make themselves warm. And in the middle of the night, when they're getting asleep, but Garel could not take a good sleep. Like he a little bit wake up because of the sound which is disturb him. When he get up, like he just sit in his bed. He take a look on his mother and his younger sister, and he could see that they really in the deep asleep, and he really didn't want to disturb them. And when he take a look on Molly, she's make a little bit sound. I think maybe because she doesn't feel well and she even cough, but this time it's just a little bit, which is make Well feel a little bit better, and he can assume that his sister is getting better. He heard a lot of sounds surrounding the house. Um, the sound of something falling, like hitting hard on the window, and after he heard it, and he moved next to the window and moved out the curtain, and he can see the snowflake start falling off, and he can realize like, oh, that the snow is coming to the town. When he look at the window, he also see the events outside, that the peoples outside they still like they suffer, like they try to fight over the snow that start falling down, and the man keep his head down and moving forward and try to cover his face in order to avoid the snow. He even see the horse that it start moving slowly and slowly because of the weather is pretty cold. He also feel a little bit concerned that because his sister she got a fever and now it start to be snow, so he concerned that it's gonna give effect to his sister, and he can see the things happen outside, that even that late of night, but still people like they are came from work and still moving on the street even though the weather is getting worse. when he see what's happened outside, it give him the flashback what will happen to his dad at Buffalo. He concerned that is it also start snowing in the Buffalo, and is it his dad is getting okay, whether he have a good place to sleep or not. Moving to the other one, it is talking about Garel. He realized that the medicine like the syrups in the bottle of for his sister that is run off. So the mother actually she decided she want to go outside to I can say that place is sounds like a pharmacy, yeah, which is the place that we can get more medicine. So his mother decided to go out and get it. But once they opened the door, they could see that the snow that fell from last night it's really thick and it's really really dangerous. So they they have to discuss with each other. So Garel he said to his mother that he want to go outside and check how deep is the snow and whether he can move to get a medicine for his sister. After checking the snow, he considered it quite dangerous, and his mother said that you don't have to go outside in these conditions because it's really dangerous for you as a young boy. But Karel he still insists. He said that he just want to take the responsibility, and also he just want to take care of his own sister, and he really doesn't want to let his moms go outside with this weather. So they just go back to the flat and sit on the table. While sitting and thinking, his mother make a hot milk and with the syrup, no, with the syrup, with the cereals, which is they can have for breakfast. While Garel eat those kind of stuff, his mind still thinking that how can he go outside to the pharmacy. Actually, the pharmacy is not really far. It just 4 blocks away. If the snow's not comes, of course he just run away fastly on only 10 minutes or some stuff, and he can turn back home. But because of this right now, he's really concerned. While eating breakfast with his mama, Garel come up with the one's idea. He think about the snowshoes. So after thinking about that one, he just go fast to the basement and find a material that can make the big size of the shoe, so it can have him not to sink quickly in the snow. If you wonder what the no, snowshoes look like, of course you can check through the Google with this one. And after he found out with the materials, he wearing a coat, a scarf, a hat, gloves, and especially his snowshoes. He feel a little bit confident right now, and he decided to go out to refill the medicine. But when the things go out, it's really surprised him. And when he leave his home, he thinks that the thing is not really bad. He just concerned himself, and after that he start walking directly to the pharmacy. When he start walking, he saw a lot of things happen. It's not only him but also the other people. They also outside where the snow is really deep and hard. Actually, this snow is coming from the blizzard. Blizzard is the name of the storm, which is hitting in the New York City in 1998. He could see that a lot of people are suffering. They felt so cold. Some of them even scream. Some of them even about to cry because the cold start hitting them. Like when you go to the place where it's too cold, you feel you feel like something sharp poking under your skin, and also your face, your nose and start getting red. And if you keep staying out, you cannot feel your body anymore. And when he tried to walk fast because of the snow, so he could not really move as much as he wanted. He could see that there, what can I call, it's like a light fallen off and some kind of stuff. He tried to walk quickly, and that time he could see that there is one young girl, even though in the bad conditions of the weather, but she works as normal. You know, in the America, many children they had it full-time jobs. At the age of 13, they could work in factory. Younger children earn money by artificial flowers, delivering groceries, and selling newspapers. Western unions hire boys from age 12 to 14 as messenger. So our girls, he could see Marie. Marie, she is a delivery's message, and accidentally, because of the snow and she could not see well, so she just hit her head with um, with, I can say, with the lights near the street, with the column, I guess. So because it hit her so hard, and her letters just fallen over the snow and it start getting wet. So she feels so panic and she start crying, like she concerned that she could not deliver the letters anymore because all the letters get wet. And after the Mary start crying, there's one officer come and help her, like she better take a day off, and no one really care about the letters anymore since the snowstorm just hit in the city. Because of this story was long times ago, so that time in the USA or New York, they don't have the train underground. They just have a normal trains that is running on a track, and girls can see that the train moves very slowly because of the snow, and it just got stuck in front of his face. After he sees that the train stopped moving, he just go to check, and he could see that people start panicking. And that times he saw the other people like give the ladder to the people who stuck in the train by yelling that 10 cents if you want to get down off the train. So Garel thinks that people, he cannot assume that people are they smart or cruel at the same times, because there are people who got stuck on the train and they really need help, but the people outside, without getting without giving any help, but they try to offer and do it as a business. um, because he have to rush out. The pharmacy that he want to go, they were closed, so he has to move to another street in order to get medicine, which is very far away from the place that he expected. Because he spent a long times outside, his physical body start feel age, from the from his toes up to his head. He could not feel his nose anymore. He could not feel his ears anymore. But his mindset just thinks that he has to do his best to get the medicine for his sister, because right now Molly, she's really sick. And as him, even though he's just a 14 years old, but he has a mindset that he's a man of the house. His papa is not here. So as the man, he have to be brave. He have to fight over himself to save the family. And even though his body is starting to like hurt so bad, but he still keep moving forward until he reached to the other new pharmacy. When they get in, the seller, they kind of surprised, like how can the young teenagers come out to the pharmacy in this weather, because even though the adult, they also suffer from it. And yeah, Gabriel just mentioned that he's come here in order to get a medicine for his sister, and the seller just said that okay, just wait a little bit, they gonna refill the syrup from him. When he entered to the shop, I can say the shop, he could see that there is a fireplace, and he felt so happy that oh, he could warm himself right now. But at the same time, he had to, when you move from the cold place to the warm one, you could not be rushed like that. It gonna affect to our blood, so he has to walk around the shop first and try to absorb the warmers from the fire little by little. while while waiting for um, while waiting for the seller, he accidentally felt so sleepy. That is the time that he realized that when you are getting too cold and when you are fell asleep, it's the time that you got a heart attack. And yeah, the fact that most people they gonna got killed if they fall asleep in the cold weather. Like, I mean that their heart just freeze and it stop working. So Garel, he know that that is a red flag, and he tried to wake himself up. Like, he could not sit still because he concerned that he gonna fall asleep by somehow. So he just warm up himself, moving a little bit and just walking around the shop. And after he got the syrups, he just sang to the seller, and he had to rush back to his house. When he going back to his house, on the way, he saw there's a lot of horse stand still and freezing outside. The owner, they just left their horses there. At the back of time, they don't have any transportation such as car and some stuff. I think they also have it, but it's just for the rich family. And as the medium class, we just riding the horse. But when the snow is come, the horse just live outside and freeze to death. Not only horses, but also a lot of birds freeze to death and fell near the sidewalk. which is really broke his heart because it's not only human that need a warm place but also animal. But yes, when the nature hits so hard, there's no one responsible for that, so the animal just leave it there to die in cold. And his body is not getting any better. He's still getting cold and feels so sick, but he have to remind himself that he is so close to reach home. And he started moving very slow. Even the shoes that he made can prevent him from sinking in the snow, but his body not really cope well. While he moving, there is one officer. He rushed and checked on him that whether he's okay. Why he have to walk in the snow like these times, and Garel tried to explain in the sort of things. The officers offer him that okay, so I better take you home because you are a child and it's so cold now and your body feels so weak. So yeah, I better take you home. And Garel felt so happy that finally there's people can help him. And the officer like just take him to his own flat. When he moved to his own flat, he just give his mother the medicine, and it's made his mother feel so proud, and she really happy to have him such as her son. And even Nora come to hug her brother and say that oh, I was so worried about you, and yeah, those kind of they're so sweet, you know. I love the quote that Garel mentioned that how good it was to be home, how good it was to be with his family. But the bad things of all happened a few days later when Papa came home. His Papa finally came home and he mentioned that I'm really proud of you, son. Papa said, you did a good job as man of the house. So that is the end of the story. We could see that Garel, he's really a good child. He's really a good brother, and even though he's young, even though he's a teenager, but he knows that his family needing help. Especially, he also concerned about how his mom doing, whether she felt okay, whether she is getting tired, and some kind of stuff. So actually, this book, the story is seem to be short, but it really have a good meaning behind it. I think it's not only these present times that people they have to face a lot of things that happen through their childhood. I mean, some kid right now they might face about the broken family, and that is a bad experience that the child should not face it. But in the story, we can see that Garel family is a good family. He has two young sisters. He has his mother who's always taking care of him, and also he has his papa who is responsible for the financial of the family. Let me talk about my feelings of reading this book. Even though this book is pretty old, which is which is written during 80s, but we could learn that people during the past time they also have a problem that they have to deal with. Actually, some problem you don't really understand unless you taste it, unless you face it. So before, when I see there is a snowstorm in the Korea, in the Japans or even earthquake, I don't really feel touching about those kind of bad news. Because in our country we never experience that. We don't know how much it affects to the citizens. But when I read this story, which is Panic in the Snow, I can feel that it's so hard to deal with the nature, right? It's just a snow, a storm of the snow. This one is just a little bit small snow that hit in the New York City, but it can affect a lot of people. It's not only people that can affect from this one, but also innocent animals. So yeah, and I really love the title, which is Panic in the Snow. I don't know how to keep this one in word or reflect to our real life, but yes, during the process we could see that during the process that Garel he decided to go out to take the medicine. He has to face, he has to challenge himself, and with his feeling, with the reality, with his physical, he not quite sure whether he want to give up or whether he had to can continue. And if we give a flashback to our real life, yes, sometimes we feel the same thing. When we in the process of some work that we want to achieve, when we found the difficulty, that is the time that we have to concern that, and we have to flashback and ask ourselves that whether we have to continue or whether we have to be stopped. So yes, this book is around only 64 pages, but it's really give me a good meaning hidden in this one. And actually, because I do the podcast and I could not take a photo of the book, but the book is really good. Even though the cover and also the letter inside, they have a picture for you. They even have the meaning of the difficult words. So I recommend, or I suggest that if any author listen to my podcast and if you plan to write a new book, if possible, I hope that you can include this one in your book, and it's really interesting for the reader. Okay, so yes, that's all for my podcast. Actually, it's nothing much about this one, but I just want you to enjoy, listen to the story, even though something I skipped. Yes, but I hope you enjoy it, and you can listen to this one while you go, like before you going to bed, or you ride a motorbike to somewhere. Yes, just enjoy the podcast and see you in the next one. Thank you.